The Omega Speedmaster. It has no water resistance, it's quite large, and Swatch is really testing my patience with this design. But yet it is one of the most iconic and storied watches ever made. Hi, my name's Brittany, and I love watches to a weird degree, to the point where I've made an entire YouTube channel dedicated to talking about them. Today, we're looking at all of the design and movement details and the little nuances of the oldest and newest Omega Speedmasters. First up, let's look at the oldest and first variation of the Omega Speedmaster, the 1957 Broad Arrow. So this one, as you can probably already tell, got its name through its distinctive hands. And something that was quite unique to this watch, this is the first chronograph with the tachometer on the bezel opposed to printed on the dial. This watch had a 39mm case, Hesalite glass, and the legendary Omega 321 caliber movement. Just looking at this watch, you begin to see the Omega Speedmaster DNA here with the dial layout, but it's not really what we think of when we think of a Speedmaster now. Let's jump ahead in time now to 1967, and I've got this watch here. I've got this Omega Speedmaster on loan from my gorgeous, lovely, wonderful friend, the old watch lady on Instagram, or Owl for short. So thank you so much. This is like holding a little piece of history. So this is the 1967 Speedmaster Professional. I love this watch. So it was in 1964, 1965 that this watch begins to take on the design language of what we associate with the Omega Speedmaster. So this is where the case size moves up to 42mm, baton hands, the asymmetrical case with the lyre lugs that just curve and flow into the case. I think the lyre lugs might just be my favorite little design detail with the Speedmaster. Just little design details. They just make me so happy. And it is this reference, the 145.012, that is the end of series for the Speedmaster. It is the final model with the caliber 321 movement. Now, moving on in the timeline, the Omega Speedmaster is a watch with a little bit of historical significance. Now, I'm not sure if you know this, because Omega keeps it pretty under wraps. They're pretty hush-hush about this. But the Omega Speedmaster was the watch that was selected by NASA to accompany their astronauts to the moon. Now, the story goes, NASA issued a memo requesting a highly durable chronograph to be used for the Apollo flight crews. 4 brands responded in time for NASA. So that was Longines, Rolex, Omega, and Hamilton. However, Hamilton was disqualified because they presented a pocket watch rather than a wristwatch. It was a bold move that didn't pay off. The NASA trials were basically torture, but for wristwatches, going through extreme temperature testing and changes in gravity, acceleration, and high pressure tests. The Speedmaster won by a landslide, and it was selected by NASA. Even saying that they won by a landslide is pejorative. I know it's easy for us to roll our eyes at the Omega Speedmaster and the history that they just keep jamming down our throats. But the Omega Speedmaster was the only watch that did not stop working during the temperature and decompression tests. It is no small feat. So a few modifications and little revisions were made to the design, and in 1969 we had the ST 105.021. This is where the Speedmaster really starts coming to life and starts looking as we know it today. A thicker and more robust case, 42mm, and that delicious moon watch bracelet. So let's jump ahead in time and look at my current favorite Omega. I don't know, 2023 Omega Days hasn't happened yet, so I might have a new favorite Omega Speedmaster soon. Probably not. I think it's going to be a Seamaster year, but that's neither here nor there. This is an absolute classic, the Moonwatch Professional. I'm more of a speedy purist, so I prefer it with the Hesalite crystal rather than the sapphire, but I really can't fault anyone for preferring sapphire. It's truly a superior material. But I just love the juxtaposition of the modern specification and then this throwback of using Hesalite. But this is neither here nor there. Argue about that in the comment section to feed the sweet, sweet algorithm gods. So the Moonwatch is everything that is right about Omega, distilling heritage and modern watchmaking into one watch. The iconic Speedmaster look, 42mm case, asymmetrical case shape, baton hands, dot over the 90, and aluminium bezel ring. The beating heart inside of this watch is the coaxial master chronometer, caliber 3861. Some people think the Speedmaster looks boring. I see what they're saying, but I couldn't disagree more. I don't know how you see an asymmetrical case with a dial and a bezel that's as busy as this one and still think it's dull. So let's agree to disagree. I find the Speedmaster to be an incredibly handsome watch, and it has all these elements that shouldn't work. I feel like it shouldn't look as balanced as it does, but here we are, this incredibly balanced, handsome watch, and this is why the Speedmaster will forever be a design icon. Now, before we end here, I'd be beside myself if we didn't talk about some of the weird and different, unique Speedmasters, because I think this is where some of the spice is. The spice.
The spice. He knows about the spice.
So one of the most coveted Speedmasters, the Snoopy. If this isn't one of the most playful and adorable watches you've ever seen, I don't know what to tell you. So in 1970, Omega received the Silver Snoopy Award from NASA, recognizing the Omega Speedmaster's unique contribution to space travel and its crucial role in saving Apollo 13. For those of you who don't know the story, Apollo 13 was a scientific mission that was meant to land on the moon, but never made it to the surface. As they approached the moon, the crew heard a large bang, accompanied by the infamous,
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. This is Houston. Say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem.
One of the oxygen tanks exploded during routine maintenance and severely damaged the spacecraft. The astronauts and the ground crew had to come up with some solution to get them home safely. This is where the Omega Speedmaster comes in. This watch was needed to precisely time a 14-second mid-course firing burn. The burn was timed so accurately that Apollo 13 landed only a mile from its intended recovery location. So this is the Apollo 13 Silver Snoopy Award. These watches are just fun and cute, and they are this connecting point of human innovation, precision, space, and time. I know not everyone reads into this meeting place when they look at this watch. I know some people think I'm overthinking it or I'm being too dorky about it. But this is what I see. This is what this watch resembles to me. But I'm also one of those far out people who's very fascinated by space. And I think it kind of comes linked to my fascination with time. Time, gravity, space, how these things are linked. I probably think about space-time continuum more than I should, considering my day job isn't anything to do with this stuff, but it fascinates me. But staying on course here and me not getting distracted by this, the Speedmaster is this gorgeous emblem of that. Space and time, and with a dash of what humans can do. I think it's beautiful. All right, I think I've been whittering on long enough about Omega. Oh no, though. I didn't talk about Alaska Project. I really want to, but this video is already going to be too long. Okay, we're going to put that on the back burner. We can talk about this at another time. Actually, this would be great. If you liked this video, if you want to hear me talk more about unique, weird, speedy references, comment it down below because we can make more videos like this. Anyways, this video was just supposed to be about some of the design influence and how the Speedmaster has changed over the years, but the DNA has stayed largely the same. This is one of the coolest watches, one of my favorite watches. I would love to add a Speedmaster reduced to my collection one day. Dreaming, hoping, one day. But let's end this video here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, do all that delicious stuff. Hit him with the Patreon song. Ooh, ooh, thank you, patrons. You are the best, you're the greatest. Ooh, ooh, thank you, patrons. Did you know you're the best? Pope tier patrons. Pope tier patrons, you're the best. Pope tier patrons really are the best. Right, guys? I hope you guys liked this Speedmaster video. it's a watch I'm truly passionate about, and I hope I served it a little bit of justice. I was a bit scared to make this video because Speedmaster nuts are pretty unforgiving, but I did a lot of research for this video. This is probably my highest research video I've done yet, and I hope I've served this beautiful, amazing watch some justice. I've been wanting to start a series talking a little bit about watch design over the years, and I really wanted the Speedmaster to be the watch that we kicked this series off with. If there's any watches you'd really like to talk about the design, I guess it's a little bit ID guy-ish, but if there is any watches you'd like me to talk about design stuff with and about, comment it down below. I'd love to keep talking about it, but I really wanted to kick this series off with the Speedy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye guys!